Hey, yo, what's up, Fandrui?
We Fede. How's it?
Shafiri, my king.
All right, it's a Monday, a blue Monday. It's been a long
Yeah,
day.
a very blue Monday. I have an infection on my right eye, Lani. Shit is crazy.
Hey,
Shit is
and, it,
crazy.
and you sure it's an infection? Nobody did say.
Don't do that. Don't do
I know
that.
you. I know you. You a gentleman. You are League of
Fandrui, don't do
Extraordinary
that.
Gentlemen. You are in the League of
Fandrui,
Extraordinary Gentlemen. Hey, you are there.
Fandrui, don't do that.
Yeah.
Unprovoked.
I know you don't fight, bro. I'm just kidding.
Good evening and welcome to Let's Argue Football, the only show where results are just the starting point and opinions do the heavy lifting. It's been a chaotic, controversial, and absolutely loaded football weekend across the Nedbank Cup, the Premier League, La Liga, Ligue 1, and the Italian Serie A. No Lebza tonight, he's on international duty, but we are featuring Van Roy, and Van Roy is here with me, and trust me, that's more than enough controversy.
Yeah, and yeah. It's less diplomacy, but more honesty tonight. I'm ready. Thibaut, let's get it. Let's go.
Yeah, sure. Straight to it, Nedbank Cup, Lani, we had a very, very jam-packed weekend. The action kicked off on Friday. Now, if we just look at the results that came from that, the Nedbank Cup number one never disappoints, Van Roy. We
Yeah.
had Vasco da Gama entertaining Lutuli Brigades in an encounter that had 5 goals. Four to the good for Vasco da Gama and Lutuli, at least, they gave the rest of their spectators, a feel of that at least they were there with just a solitary goal. Vasco da Gama showed maturity after going behind. TJ Diedrichs, I know he's your cousin. TJ Diedrichs scored a brace, Lani, and that changed the game completely.
Yeah, Nia, let me tell you, this wasn't just a comeback, my friend. It was
Yeah,
basically class. It was a class gap, ne? That was
yeah,
exposed. And once
yeah.
again, Vasco in that game, they remained settled. You know,
Mm,
Lutuli, on the other hand, had no answers. Game
mm.
management basically wins you cups, and this actually proves why Vasco da Gama actually was the better side in that matchup.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, Vasco were head over heels better than them. Then after that, we saw Durban City fighting all out versus Chipa United. The game ended in a draw, Van Roy, and subsequently ended up going to a penalty shootout where Durban City converted three versus Chipa United, who were only able to convert two. Penalty shootout drama in Chatsworth, Lani.
Yeah, I'm sure the colors were going crazy there in Chatswood. Anyway, cheaper on the other end, they were very flat. They didn't have a sense of urgency. They had no invention. And in knockout football, that's criminal, bro. You have to have a sense of urgency. You have to move with intention, and you have to be creative as well. And once you get knocked out, it's bad, bro. It's the end.
Yeah, no, no, definitely. I mean, Durban City earned that. It wasn't pretty, but it was brave. But you know what? I just feel like I just gave you a diplomatic answer. I feel like if a game goes down to a penalty shootout, Van Roy, then I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of luck that's involved in it. So I honestly cannot say that with a clear conscience that there was actually a team who deserved to win this game. I think both of them they canceled each other out. Both of them, they didn't have, let's say, a bulletproof plan, to take out the opposition. So it just subsequently dwindled down and ended up going to a penalty shootout. And the penalty shootout, look at it. The team that went through scored three, the one that didn't score two. Van Rooyen. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know
I
about you.
that's why I'm gonna argue with you a little bit. I think it's a mixture of a lot of things besides luck. Um, I think the goalie sometimes also plays a big role because
Yeah.
I can, I can stand like this, ne? And then
Hmm?
into that body feint and then actually go this way as well. And I need to be
Yeah.
spot on with judging where your foot is actually going, which direction the ball will go before I actually, make that dive. So I think goalkeepers also play a role in it, man.
Yeah, yeah, I hear what you're saying. Ne? Really, I do. And you just saying that it means that we mustn't take the credit away from the goalkeepers because they also play their part.
Sure.
But but just me on a personal level, I just feel like a penalty shootout is
It's
more of
luck.
like a coin toss. You know,
Yeah,
and if you are lucky on the day, y'all will go through. If not, then hey, it is what it is, you see.
yeah, sure.
And
Yeah, sure.
then after that, we saw Chakuma Fried Chicken or Chakuma Football Club um, host Orlando Pirates. Orlando Pirates scored 4 goals. Chakuma responded only with one. Pirates keep their quadruple dreams alive, Fanroy. They are sitting atop of the Betway Premiership as well.
Mm.
Pirates seem to be on fire.
Yeah, no, I fully agree there. I'm not gonna argue, ne. I'm a chief supporter, ne. But then
Mm.
Pirates, ne. I think Pirates deserve to lift their trophy by the end of the season. No lie, bruh. Um, Besides the quality of players that they have, ne. This was basically for me in that match, ne. This was men versus boys. The Pirates
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
they didn't, Pirates didn't even get out of their second gear to actually win this
Mm.
game. I think this was an exhibition for them.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's also, the scary part right there, Fanroy, because they seem like they're peaking at the right moment in the season, right?
Yeah,
So if you're a pessimist like me, you want to see Orlando Pirates win the league. Ane? I'm
yeah,
so sick and tired of these cup competitions. I'm not gonna say obviously that they don't carry their worth in weight, but
yeah,
Lani, the league title is everything, man. You see, if you can
yeah,
win the league title, you can even challenge on the African continent. This is how I feel, you
yeah,
know. And we've seen Mamelodi Sundowns come closer and closer and closer and closer and closer to adding another star because
yeah,
from a psychological standpoint, they have what it takes, to go
yeah,
there and get the result, you see. So until this pirate side maybe win the league,
yeah.
I feel like we're always going to be a step behind when we're participating as well on the continent.
Yeah, but you know what I wish and hope for, ne, is that
Yeah.
um Pirates Pirates to win the league, ne? With the next Kev, I really want them to progress and I want them to see go far. And I really, really would love to see them, in the last four teams that's gonna play against each other, just to see, sometimes when you put guys on that big, big grand stage like that and they advance later in the competition, they actually
Mhm.
bring out a different mentality, a different beast out of them, and I really want to see that for Pirates.
Yeah, no, I will see, Fanroy. Fingers crossed, you know.
Yeah,
On the African
definitely.
continent, I just want any South African team to win it. Whether CAF Confed, whether Champions League, I just
Yeah,
want the South African team to win it because I always felt like just on the brand of football that we play local, I always felt like our brand of football is way better than everyone else on the continent. But on
yeah,
the rest of the continent, they either have more physical prowess or they tactically
yeah,
they prepare better and implement better strategies to get through these games because even if you're not watching the so-called big teams from the PSL, Pirates or Mamelodi Sundowns, when you're
yeah,
watching the so-called other small teams playing on the continent, they are dominating these guys. Maybe it doesn't translate into goals, but
yeah,
in terms of what's happening on the pitch, you can tell that this is
yeah.
a
No,
totally different game.
you know what? I agree with you because I believe if the plan is there and the implementation is there and they plan and prepare very, very good. The execution becomes flawless, no matter how small the team is, no matter how big the opponent is.
Hey, Lani, Africa. Yeah. AK-47, Morocco, food poisoning. Yeah, 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 yeah. Now let's go to the English Premier League. Ne?
Yeah.
We had a jam-packed weekend. England delivered all the fireworks. Leeds United, just kicking off the actions, did a good number on Nottingham Forest. It ended in a 3-1 victory for Lucas Hatebe's former side. Leeds are
Yeah.
now 9 points clear of the danger zone.
Yeah, which is very, very good for them. That was a
Mm.
big win. They lead on goal difference and points as well compared to the bottom three or bottom four teams. That's basically survival form from them. They showed simple structure yet ruthless in the execution. So
Oh, sorry.
I really give props to them. They really did a good job with staying out of the bottom three and even bottom four as well. I think they're the fifth or the sixth last team, but then I think that this actually is a statement win for them.
With the we're now what in February. Do you
Yeah.
think come May, Leeds United will stay in the Premier League?
Yes, most definitely. I think they will. If you look at where they come from, né? Yes, they were in the early stages of the campaign, the current campaign. They were
Yeah,
higher above, but then now
yeah.
it shows that they're showing a glimpse of, that fighting spirit. I think that there's 11 or 12 matches left, and I think they're gonna throw everything at it just to stay in the Premier League. They have really, really good players and a very good goalkeeper and a very good coach as well.
It is yet to be seen, Van Roy, because
Yeah,
after
Nia.
that we saw Newcastle. They had a showdown with Brentford as they hosted them in a five-goal thriller. Three goals to Brentford and two for the home side. VAR everywhere. Eddie Howe, my man, is absolutely under pressure. Now I know he did a miracle to get this group into the Champions League. But I think from a neutral standpoint, anyone can be forgiven for expecting Newcastle maybe to go up or maybe to shift more gears or to find a new level. You see, the way the season has transpired, I think we've only seen flashes in the pen, Van Roy. And
Yeah.
I think we again can be forgiven for actually expecting much more than what has been delivered.
Um, I'm gonna beg to differ there. I think ne, there wasn't a VAR issue in the first place. I think it's a matter of control. If you can't manage games, ne, emotionally at this level, you are not going to win that game. You need to keep your head in the game. You need to keep your composure, and you just need to grind. I mean, I lost, ne. Liverpool lost against City. We were leading 1-0, ne, and they kept their cool, they kept their calm, they kept their composure, and they just kept pressing, they kept grinding, and they grinded out the result, which actually worked in their favor. So for me, I would say that they were not in control of that game, and once you lose yourself mentally, emotionally as well, it's over, my friend.
Say that Newcastle this season of the same level that they were last season, or whether
Look,
they've
look,
grown or they've regressed.
I I'm gonna first give you reasons why I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. They only lost Isak. I think Isak and two other players. Ne? That is it
Yeah.
basically. The whole other team, the rest of the team remained the same, and they added people to it as well. I think they're not progressing, they're not regressing per se, but they just remaining stagnant, like they're just floating somewhere. And if you look at it, ne, I think they were the first team to score in this match. They were the first team, and then Brentford actually, I think they had, yeah, it was 1-1. After that, then Brentford had 2-1, and then it just went on like that. But if they could just keep their cool, keep their calm, be in control, even on off the ball as well, close gaps as well, emotionally, mentally become fortified, or build a mental fortitude. Basically, that's what I want to say. So if you're gonna lose yourself emotionally, my friend, it's a wrap.
But Eddie Howe has been there for how long, Van Roy?
He has been there for
You
quite
you
a
you
number of
still
years.
you still after being there for so long, you still want to talk about building a mental fortitude. Look, I'm not saying because this season they made it into the Champions League, right? That they
No.
should be gunning for, let's say, top honors in the Premier League. I'm not saying that. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is the manner in which that they're playing now, I don't think they will make it to the Champions League for next season. You
Yeah,
see?
no, that's
And
true.
and yes, there were some major departures from them, right? They really were, ne? Because Alexander Isak,
Yeah.
he brought a different dimension to the whole attacking, in like the whole
Yeah.
attacking play for this Newcastle side.
Yeah.
But you also have to look at it from another perspective, that the coach, he did what he needed to do to make the necessary replacements. But again, taking into account their topsy-turvy performances this season, I think if they don't find a level of consistency, then it's either the Europa League or the Conference League next season.
And I think at the rate that they are going, if they continue to play the way they are, I don't even think they're gonna make European football.
And you see now, that will be the worst of the worst for me. That'll be the worst of the worst. So fingers crossed for Eddie Howe. I actually like him. He's
He's a
not
good
like
coach.
all the other British coaches, like your Frank Lampards and stuff.
Yeah.
He's shown that he can do it at a high level in the Premier League. He's not
Yeah.
just one of those survival types of coaches, or those
Yeah.
Coca-Cola Championship type of coaches. And then after that, we saw the world champions Chelsea travel to Wolverhampton Rovers in a clash that ended with 3 goals to the away side, with only one from the home side. Wolves, I think they could not cope with this game plan that Chelsea had brought on to the stadium. Cole Palmer, 3 penalties, his first hat trick for the Blues. Is there anything that I'm missing out on, Van Roy?
Yeah, I think Wolves basically they were naive. You can never ever give a top side three penalties and still complain about it. After the first one, you must already say to yourself, you know what? Let us make sure that that does not happen again. Okay, I know it's football and the ball is round and things happen as well. But when it comes to that 18-yard area and the box itself, make sure that you protect it and make sure that if you tackle, make clean tackles. How can you, like, three penalties in first half? It's the first time in a while that I've seen three penalties in the first half. And
What
they
are you
don't
saying, Van Roy? What are you
have
saying, or what are you trying to say?
they don't learn from their mistakes in a nutshell. That's
Oh,
it.
okay.
If they could have
Okay.
learned from their mistake from the first penalty, they could have avoided the second and third penalty. And if the coach was clinical and actually thought ahead, he could have halftime. Actually, not even before halftime. Sometimes they have these small anyana water breaks on the field whereby someone gets injured there and
Team
then you
talk.
run.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Quick
Run
team
to the coach
talk.
and say, Coach, look, um, what can I do to make this situation better? Or you might find that in certain instances, the coach calls you and say, no, come, do this, do that. Tell that guy I don't want him there anymore. You fill his place. Something like that. Just make a change and learn from the mistake. But that didn't happen.
Yeah, I know it was unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Yeah, what can I say? Like I said, it's football. These things, it happens, but in modern football, like in this life and time, I haven't seen three penalties in a while, bruh. Like really in a while. In first half, despite like the second half, the first half
It,
alone.
it almost it almost seems too good to be true.
It does. And you know what, ne? I was looking at the score, ne? And I actually betted on that game. I knew it was going to be a high scoring game. However, I didn't think that it would come from penalties. When I saw Palmer score, I was like, this guy's back, you know. He's really, really
Yeah, yeah,
back.
yeah.
He's scoring bangers. Can't I when I when I checked the highlights, I was like, it's penalties.
Penalty a favor Chelsea.
And that meme was actually made based on Real Madrid, ne?
Exactly, Van Roy. Take us to the next game, big boss.
So we have the league leaders that were at home. Arsenal faced Sunderland. I thought also
Mm,
this was gonna be, one of those tough, very tough matches. It showed that a glimpse of Sunderland fighting back, but at the end
mm.
of the day, Arsenal beat them 3-0. It was a statement win at the top for the Gunners. This is championship composure. Arsenal smell blood, and you know what a shark does when they smell blood.
Yeah, I know they go for the kill. And
Yeah,
you know one thing, Van Rooyen, this
yeah.
Arsenal side, homie, they are not blinking. You know, if they carry on the manner in which that they're conducting their business this season, I think a lot of us are gonna be eating humble pie, broski.
Yeah. No, it's you're 100% true. Ne? If they really can pull through, like I said, there's like 11 or 12 matches left. If they can make sure
Mm.
that they win all of them, it's chai. We must
There's
forget.
11 or 12 games left. Eh,
Yeah,
are you sure, Van Rooyen?
I think so, man. If I'm not
Hey, yeah,
mistaken, am I
yeah,
mistaken?
yeah. It's gonna get wild then.
It is, bruh. Like if
Now
you
it's
look
gone.
at
Now it's really going down to the wire.
it
Hmm?
is. City on the other end, they are like what 6 points behind him. Six
Yeah,
points. It's also not a lot. So if Arsenal can just slip up once, bruh, like
I don't see you. You know, ne? I remember when we had the discussion about the Premier League. That who
yeah,
like the question was who was our money on in terms of taking top honors in the Premier League. Um, I chose Manchester City because Manchester City, I think, they are a default selection, homie. They've dominated this competition, this domestic competition for the
yeah,
last 10 or maybe more years, right?
yeah,
It's not even worth the discussion, right? But I did mention that I want this Arsenal side to prove me wrong because I want Arteta to stay. I like at the beginning of the season, I wanted him to go because I didn't understand why he was still in the job. But the manner in which everything has been progressing, even
yeah.
if Arsenal don't win the league, I would like for Mikel Arteta to stay. Now, going back to my selection that I made about Manchester City, Manchester City are not winning anything this year, Fandroy. Manchester
Yeah,
City this season are not winning anything, Fandroy. I'm telling you. I'm telling you,
nothing
bro. I
whatsoever.
know Pep Guardiola is trying to rework his jigsaw, the puzzle piece,
Yeah,
is moving around all these different things to find himself in a position where they can maybe get the greatest value out of this squad. But honestly speaking, I don't see it happening. And this
yeah,
leads us to our next game, which was Liverpool at Anfield hosting Manchester City. The game ended in a 2-1 victory to the away side, Manchester City. A late Erling Haaland penalty, and once again, like it has happened so many times this season, Anfield was silenced.
yeah. I was also silenced.
That's peace.
It was painful. Um,
That's
one
peace.
thing, one thing that I'm going to say, ne, even though like I won, what's this, the Premier League last season, ne,
Mhm.
simply showing that this is what champions actually do. They suffer, they survive, they strike, and they keep on striking. They keep on working towards goal, and basically that carried them through up until the last whistle. It carried them through. First half, I'm not gonna lie, They dominated Liverpool like crazy. Second half was mostly Liverpool, and then I think once they got it 1-1, it was game set for me. I knew that it's either we're gonna draw or we're gonna lose that game. But anyway, I told one of
Yeah,
my friends,
listen, this big boss was a psychological victory as much as a tactical one. I feel between the two sides,
yeah,
domestic for the domestic campaign, Manchester City, they look like in a better place, you know, than this Liverpool side. I think this Liverpool side will be a threat in the Champions League, big boss.
yeah,
But in the Premier League, I think for them it's just to ensure that at the end of the season they get into the Champions League positions.
yeah, yeah. We'll
Now
see.
let's move on to yes, sorry, yes.
I'm saying we'll see. I don't know when it comes to getting us into top four. Ne? It's like, yeah, bruh. I don't want. I don't want to
Bruh,
go back and see.
you're talking about getting into the top four. Bruh, I have a number nine, who doesn't wanna work for his teammates. And his teammates won everything without him, sub level wise. They
Yeah,
they've done everything without him. And now it's like everybody now needs to, dance to his jingle. It's crazy, bro. But anyways, let's move on to La Liga, big bro. La
yeah,
Liga is the league of the stars. Um, La Liga delivered narratives everywhere, big boss.
yeah,
Barcelona faced Real Mallorca. They put on a 3-0 victory. They managed to keep a clean sheet, and Lamine Yamal responded like a star.
yeah,
Valencia hosted Real Madrid at Mestalla Stadium, and Kylian Mbappe guaranteed the win with a late goal. And Atletico Madrid fell to Real Betis, and their home record is gone at the Metropolitano Stadium. And it's actually very strange because midweek, when Atletico Madrid met Real Betis, they scored 5 goals against them. Then
yeah,
when the league campaigns comes along, Betis through Anthony managed to get the win and the 3 points, the crucial 3 points away to a megalodon
yeah.
like Atletico Madrid.
And if you look at it, wasn't although it was a 1-0 win, the goal itself speaks volumes, my friend. That was
Yeah.
that was top shelf. I don't want to lie.
Mm.
When I saw that goal by Anthony, I was like, you know what? It's true. Everyone that leaves United goes out there and they end up shining, but him is proving every hater wrong. He's proving them wrong.
Can I just say something just on that, Fandroy? Uh, this season in particular, I don't feel like Anthony has showed up. I think last season when he came in, like at the halfway point of the season, he had that hunger, like he wanted to show and
Yeah,
prove that Manchester United make one of the biggest mistakes by not maybe having faith in him or setting up a team, in a way that I don't know would be conducive for him, right? But
yeah,
he's been there at Betis this season from preseason, right? Now
yeah.
I think he got a crucial goal in a very important part of the season because
Yeah,
now we're going towards the penultimate stages, right? So you'll be hoping for an upturn in form from him. But if I take the whole campaign up until this point,
yeah,
with Isco being injured for such a long period, I honestly would have expected him to grow in leaps and bounds,
okay.
but nothing. I haven't seen anything from him. I'm sorry. I don't want to be a weirdo,
You're saying
even though he scored the winner.
you're saying that there's nothing special coming from him.
This season, no. But
Okay.
there's still a lot of games to play. He might just be a big game player more than like every game I produce something type of player.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll see. Atletico, losing at home, that basically tells me that you know what fatigue is catching up with them. And their
Mm.
margins are thinning as well because coming from like winning these people five goals, bruh. Like that's a lot to come into
Yeah,
play in Kasi and you still lose against them. It's like that
yeah.
shows you
But
something.
but then but then do you think they were complacent? Because during the week they scored five against them. Then now they roll up or they turn up to the pitch and they lose 1-0. Do you think maybe
Yeah,
they were complacent?
I think they were. I think you know when you win against the team, ne, and the goal tally is very very high. You're going to sometimes you're going to underestimate and to say, you know what, I've done this before. This is a walk in the park for me. Only to come back and then boom, you get hit real hard. Losing at home is quite painful, bro.
I know, I hear you. Van Roy, let's move on to League One, the McDonald's League. Ne? I don't know about you, but a McFeast Deluxe, with 10 chicken nuggets sounds about like a good idea right about now. Ne?
Yeah, League One, power shifts. So coming at you guys, we had PSG faced Marseille. That match ended in a 5-0 win for PSG. Even
Wow.
them as well. It's like 1 week they playing good goal tally. Next week it's a draw or it's a loss or it's you get me one thing or another. This Le Classic was not a contest. This was they were butchering them. Dembele Dembele, he embarrassed them. He embarrassed Marseille. I don't know what else to put in there, but he embarrassed them. That was an elite level of dominance. There's no reply from Marseille. I don't know about you, but for me, that is painful, bruh.
Yeah, no, definitely. And hey, what's this? Usman Dembele is maintaining his level of fitness. He's playing again more consistently after being out for a short spell at the beginning of the
Yeah,
season, right? And you know what, my man, he's really starting to play like a Ballon d'Or winner. There's this goal that he scored the other week, Lani. Yo, yo,
yeah,
yo. He did a vala in the box and then he chipped everyone. Not the goalkeeper, everyone in the
everyone.
box.
Yo, I'm gonna check it out
Everyone
after
in the
this.
box. He did a Vula Vala in the box and then he chipped everyone in the box. Nah, but that shit is he's there, he is him. And I think if he can maintain this level, PSG will be a problem again, particularly in the Champions League. But also in France, I think we also need to give it to Lens, because they just keep winning, and every time they win, they are really keeping their foot on the neck of PSG. And
Yeah,
PSG may be leading Ligue 1 by 1 point, but they know without a shadow of a doubt that if they drop points for any reason, Lens are going to come in and they are going to take charge of the steering wheel with regards to the champions elect for the McDonald's League.
yeah. You know what? I just like the way you say
Yeah,
lawns. You
I
know,
think.
it's like lawns. You have that je ne sais quoi about about this league. Lawns.
Uh,
I was gonna say lens. Ki lens, bawa.
uh,
Lens. When uti lawns. You know, it's like
yeah,
lawns.
I'm with you, ne. I'm with you, ne. But my thing is, ne, I always respected people, who take the courtesy to pronounce people's name properly.
Correctly.
Me
Yeah.
growing up, not even growing up, to this day, people say, "Hey,
Yeah.
Tommy! Oh, hey, hey, Tommy! What the fuck, bruh? My name is Tabo." So,
Tabo.
just that little thing, it goes a long
Yeah.
way, big boss.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Let's go to the Serie A, big boss. It's that
Yeah.
time for that pasta, for that lasagna. Because
Yeah.
obviously in the Serie A is drama. It's drama, and the drama is always usual. We saw Lazio put a hold to Juventus's winning streak. They played to a 2-all draw in an entertaining encounter at the Allianz Stadium in
Yeah.
Turin. Weston McKennie, I think since the arrival of Luciano Spalletti, he has been absolutely outstanding. Internazionale were 5-star, with Marcus Thuram back in the lineup. He
Yeah.
led the Nerazzurri to a 5-0 win against Sassuolo. this is title. This was like a title statement because I
Yeah.
think this Inter side this season are doing everything possible to get back into the Serie A winners. Serie A
Circle.
winners conversation,
Yeah.
and Napoli fought for their life against Genoa in a 5 goal thriller where Napoli scored 3 goals and Genoa scored two. uh, they did everything to get the win, but the game was marred by refereeing controversy. They got a penalty at the death, Van Roy. Van Roy, I absolutely mean at the death. And they did not waste this opportunity because after subsequently scoring that goal, the game ended and they took 3 points back to Naples.
Yeah, which really was a good thing. And if you awarded a penalty at the depths of the game, you take it,
Mm.
bruh. That mental fortitude needs to be there. That focus needs to be there. Inter, on the other hand, they look inevitable. You know, like Thanos when he said, "I'm inevitable." They really look like him in that match. Everyone else is playing for
Oh,
second.
Oh wait, so it was Thanos who said that, not Mr.
Yeah,
Smith.
I am inevitable, and he did a snap.
Oh, he said I am inevitable.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I never really watched that, Fandro. You need to bring me up to speed. Which one I must start with? Because when I watch these things, Fandro, I'm always
Yeah,
rooting for the villains.
yeah,
So Thanos looked like a real bad guy. So you after the
um,
show, you must just tell me where to start.
yeah. No, when it comes to that, I think if I have to choose a villain, I think it would be him because he had a reason and a purpose behind it. But yeah, that's a conversation for another day. I will drag you in. Don't worry. There's a new category that, ladies and gentlemen, that we actually gonna bring in. It's called winners and losers. Thibaut, let's get it. Let's go.
Yeah, so we're looking at the winners and losers from the January transfer window. After it was shut last week, I think it's only fair that we look at the winners and the losers. And kicking it off with the winners, we have Endrick, the Brazilian, who made his move on loan from Real Madrid to Olympic Lyonnais. And so far, he's had an explosive impact. And then second to him, we have Antoine Semenyo. Antoine Semenyo just joined Manchester City from Bournemouth. The confidence is growing, and you can definitely feel that in the front line or in the attack of this Manchester City team. They have added something different, unlike the one-dimensional player that is what's his name, Van Roy? Jeremy Doku.
Yeah, yeah,
Ademola Lookman made his move from Atalanta to Atletico Madrid. And consistency, I think, here will be personified because unless Ademola Lookman finds his feet or the form that led him to take Atalanta to winning the Europa League. I think this will be a real test for him as in the Spanish La Liga. Dro Fernandez was a prospect from La Masia, but
yeah.
somehow PSG managed to sue him away from the Catalan club. PSG are gaining momentum in this squad that is filled with young talent, and this young talent, Van Roy, I think they really believe in themselves and in
Yeah,
what they can achieve, and PSG will definitely bring on the pain with this Dro Fernandez signing. And then lastly, we saw Karim Benzema departing from Al Ittihad to Van Roy.
what's the yeah? It's the other team that
They're all
also,
Al. They're all
yeah.
Al.
What is it?
Oh shoot.
He went from
Oh,
Al Nasir to Al Hilal, ne?
Al Hilal.
Yeah,
Thank you, Van Roy. big game mentality never fades, right there, big boss. And the funny thing is that when Karim Benzema was introduced or was unveiled at the press conference,
Yeah.
he said Al Hilal are the Real Madrid of Asia. Wow.
And Cristiano was not happy about it. Did you see like
Yeah. He went on strike for 2 games. He went on
yeah,
strike for 2 games.
but yeah, I think he also has a share there in that team, ne? In Al Nasir, ne?
I
Yes,
don't know if
yes,
it's 10 or 15%, somewhere there.
yeah, yeah. But that's quite a lot, young. If you look at it, like it's a lot.
Yeah, on top of getting 200 and something million, or is it more than that?
Yeah, it is a bit
From his
more. I think.
2 year contract.
Yeah,
Mind you, Van Roy, where he's playing now, there's no tax, Lani.
hell,
There's no tax, Lani. Can
imagine,
you
bruh.
imagine? Hey, please take us through our losers.
Yeah, Nia. So the losers coming at you at number one spot is Gianfilippe Mateta. He failed to make a move, and it really hurts. It really hurts him and the team. I don't know if it is a thing of mentality, like what, I was just supposed to leave this club, and yeah, now I'm stuck here. Harvey Elliott coming at you in second place. Um,
Mm.
Basically still development. He's not getting enough game time, and yeah, he's gonna come back to Liverpool. Mark
Yeah, yeah,
Gay,
yeah.
yeah,
Just on that, Skis Van Roy, why
no
did you all let
stress.
him go? I really thought that he had something. Why did you all let him
So
go?
we didn't completely let him go. We actually sent him on loan with an option to buy, but then I think
Yeah.
him and Unai Emery is not sitting very pretty around one table. So I think he's being benched, and like that can actually break down your confidence and a whole lot of other things. I think there's a domino effect to it.
Yeah, I think if he was good enough, then Emery would definitely play.
Yeah, but we'll see when he comes back, and I hope he shines just to prove a point.
Okay.
Yeah, so we move on in third place. It's Mark Gay. Liverpool hesitation. For me, I don't think it proved to be costly because where he's at City is actually doing a good job. He is making a bit of errors here and there, but the guy is still learning a different team, different formation. Everything works differently if you move from one company to another. So I think we must just give him time, and then we'll see. He has a good football brain. And then
Yeah, no,
lastly,
definitely.
yeah, lastly, it is Cristiano Ronaldo. That basically shows optics around PIF pressure. It's worsening. Like, I don't know what more to say about it, but it's worsening. We just spoke about it now. The whole Benzema and Cristiano thing, him moving from one club to another. I mean, if you're an elite professional on Cristiano's level, these things, it's always gonna be there, you get me, and you need to have a way of dealing with things like that. But yeah, it's one of those things, man.
Yeah, look, I don't want to make excuses, right? But um I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo is the reason why we are watching the Saudi Pro League, you know.
That's true. No doubt,
So
you can't take that away from him.
so I'm not saying that they should do favors for him. No, no, no.
Yeah,
But I just feel like maybe they should handle things a little differently. Because
sure.
if Cristiano decided to leave tomorrow, the mystique is gone. I don't care how much money they're giving these guys. Because if you look at the Saudi Pro League now, Van Roy, these
Yeah,
guys they sign in August, and
yeah,
in January they are gone. You know, or they'll sign in August, and then when the season ends in May or June, they're looking for a move on loan back to Europe, or they sign them outright, and
yeah,
they forego their wages and all those benefits. But you must remember, when they go there, they give them a Mursa Grot signing on fee,
yeah.
Lani. You see,
The bonus
so
is
it's
big.
like, Exactly. So it's like, some of these guys, when they look at the money, it's an offer that it's difficult for them to refuse, right?
Sure.
But then after they get that money, after they pay their dues, they leave. So again, without the mystique of Cristiano Ronaldo, I
Yeah.
think they'll be back to where they were before. I could be very wrong. I could be very wrong, and I hope that I am. Let's
Yeah.
go on to
Yeah.
the props of the week, big boss.
So I'm gonna take you guys through the flops. We're gonna start with the flops this week. Biggest flop, Spurs. Their discipline once again proves why they are where they are. I'm not gonna say much about it. Coming at you guys in second place, Liverpool losing at Enfield to City, a painful one. I took it on my chest. I actually had one of my friends sit here that is a City supporter, and I felt like choking the hell out of him. But yeah,
Hey.
he made it worse, bruh. In my room, he was screaming like, "Yes!" I was like, even after the game, even today, he trolled me like crazy. But yeah, it's one of those things, man. Coming at you guys in third place, Enric's red card. I think this guy has a lot of talent, but he needs to control himself.
Yeah.
He still has quite a number of good things to produce, to provide, and to showcase. He just needs
Mm.
to control his emotions and anger, and that's it. Once you build
Ah,
this strong mind, nothing can break you.
yeah, no, listen, I absolutely agree with you.
So
So
I just I
just from
just want
what you've said,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah,
no,
I'm
I
listening.
actually wanted to ask you. So, who do you think of these three? Who's your flop?
Ish, Liverpool have been in this particular part or in this particular segment of the show so many times that I feel like you know what, they actually deserve a break because at least this time around they were beat by a credible opponent. You see,
Sure.
Tottenham Hotspur. I think we've been saying it the whole season that Thomas Frank doesn't look like he's the guy to manage this group in particular.
Yeah.
But where Endrick is concerned, I think this is a slate on his somewhat perfect start to life in France. But I think this will spur him on to come back stronger. So my flop of the week is Endrick, right there getting a red card.
On my side, I fully agree with what you are saying. Based on Liverpool, they have been here in this segment almost every other week, if not consecutively. I think they need.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check for a small trophy, and I'm gonna give it to them for the flops. They got so many flops of the week or being in this
This season,
category. They are
this season,
they
yeah.
they actually need a trophy for being the flops of the week. So I'm
I
giving it to
never.
Liverpool.
I never. And then after here, Van Roy, we have our props. Ne? Now, without
Yeah,
any waste of time, first and foremost, we have Marcus Thuram, who's fit as a fiddle, back in the starting 11 for Internazionale. And he led this Inter side to a 5-0 thumping of Sassuolo. Usman Dembele, you know what, he is lead in the big moments. And I think with this demolition job that PSG put on against Olympique de Marseille,
yeah,
there shouldn't be any question of his status in world football right now. And lastly, as I mentioned earlier on, Van Roy,
Mons.
Lons, my man,
Yeah,
have been relentless, have been fearless, and they've been super organized. PSG know that they have a credible opponent breathing down their necks.
yeah.
Now, who's your pick for the week?
I'm gonna give. Oh, it's also not easy.
Yeah,
It's this one is very difficult. The flop was easy to choose, ne, but the
yeah,
prop, ne, it always gives you so many things to speak about, ne, and credit to give, ne. That if
yeah,
I had to choose all three of them, ne, I would. But
yeah.
for me, it's Dembele, ne. He's elite in big moments, and that proves time and time again why he actually is at that level.
Most def. You know what, me Van Rooyen, I'm going with Marcus Thuram. Um, Here's the thing, about the Serie A. The Serie A, ne, is
Yeah,
like I don't know if it's the culture or if it's the manner in which that they just approach their games, right?
yeah.
But you can be a cow, and I'm saying like a cow in
More.
Germany, in England, in Portugal, in Spain. But you come to the Serie A, and some
Yeah,
way somehow the tactics with which they use, right? You will find a guy like Marcus Thuram becoming, the tip of the spear for a side like Inter Milan. I think Marcus Thuram is more important to Inter than Lautaro Martinez,
Martinez.
you know, and this is because in the biggest games, when Marcus Thuram was fit, I think he gave more to the side, because it's not only his ability to score the goals, but it's also his ability to create space. And at that time, Nkomo, my lord, he's a cow. But within this group, within this Inter Milan squad, for me, I don't think it's even worth debating, But others will debate. I think
Yeah.
he is more important to this squad than Lautaro Martinez.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It shows, ne, when it comes to leading Inter's attack, ne, that you like what you're saying. This guy is the tip of a spear, and not only in attacking, like you say, he creates, he runs into space, and when
Mm.
when the chips are down, this is someone that you can always count on because even though off the ball, he's still going to try and make something out of nothing. So yeah, I
Yeah, he
think
bullies the defenders.
yeah,
Yeah, he bullies them straight up.
which is good. You need someone like that in your team. Every team has certain characters. They play certain roles to a certain extent, but you need someone like him.
Without a shadow of a doubt, homie. It
Yeah,
is
sure.
what it is. Other than that, Fandroy, I think this is why we love this game. It's the goals, it's the chaos, it's the controversy, and the consequences thereof.
And the consequences are very deep and it hurts and it burns, and yeah, my chest is still hurting, but yeah, yesterday was
Rest
yesterday.
in
And and then again, guys, see you guys on Friday. Even louder arguments, more flame, more passion. Join us again.
yeah. Definitely from us and from Lebza, wherever he is. This has been Let's Argue Football. Same time, same fire. Good night.
Shalom Zanzi. Sure, Tibos.
Thank you, last number.